Hello my dear students, greetings to one and all. In this video lecture we are going to start off with a poem named Amanda by Robin Glenn. So before moving on to the actual discussion of the poem, let me quickly remind you that the name of the poet is extremely important from the examination point of view. Not only in this poem but in all the poems and the chapters that we are going to do, the name of the author or the poet is extremely important. So you need to remember and the name of the poet and the authors thoroughly. Okay, moving on with the poem. Before moving on, let us quickly read about the not about the author over here, we'll correct it. We'll read about the poet. Poet. Robin Glenn is a poet who takes in his pen the everyday and universal happenings of life, activities related or pertaining to small children are very dear to him as they represent innocence, love, smartness and their nature. So let's start off with the poem. Don't bite your nails, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulders, Amanda. Stop that slouching and sit up straight, Amanda. So let us understand what the first paragraph is about. So these are all the odd habits that Amanda had got. Biting nails, hunching shoulders, sitting up in a slouching way. These are all the bad habits which Amanda has got, and her parents are correcting her for that. Okay, so they say that don't bite your nails, Amanda. Don't hunch your shoulders. Don't bend your shoulders. Don't bend your shoulders. Don't bend your shoulders, Amanda. Don't hang your shoulders, Amanda. Stop that slouching and sit up straight, Amanda. Stop that slouching means, sitting up with your back bulging out. Okay, that is slouching. When your shoulders they kind of hang down and your back pops out, that is the meaning of slouching. So her parents are saying that don't sit with your back bent and your shoulders hanging down. You have to sit up straight. So these are all the correct habits that her parents are telling her to do. But from Amanda's point of view, these are not the things which she basically is liking to correct, and therefore she imagines that there is a languid emerald sea. Languid means relaxing, bright. Emerald means bright sea, where the sole inhabitant is me. Where the soul means only, where the only inhabitant is me, a mermaid. Drifting means floating happily. So now you can see that she had started, turning or getting frustrated with these continuous reminders from her parents, like don't do this, don't do that. So she is kind of getting irritated with this continuous nagging of her parents. So therefore she imagines now that she is somewhere in the middle of a sea, where she's all alone, all by herself, where she's drifting, floating happily, and there is no one to nag at her, and there is no one to correct her for the things that she is doing. Okay. Moving on. So this is the explanation of the poem. You can go through it. I've already explained this up in the previous page. Moving on with the second paragraph. Now, did you finish your homework, Amanda? Did you tidy your room, Amanda? I thought I told you to clean your shoes, Amanda. So now her mom is telling her to do the things which is asking her that whether she has done these needful things or not. So she asks her, have you done your homework, Amanda? Did you tidy your room? Is your room clean? Have you tidied up your room? And also, have you cleaned up your shoes, or are they still dirty? So these are the questions which her mom is putting her forward for Amanda. Now again, as I've told you, that Amanda kind of hates this nagging behavior of her parents. She is quite a lot, not very much, liking this behavior of her parents, this nagging behavior of her parents. So therefore now she imagines that I'm an orphan. See, this is the innocence that you see. So she's saying that I wish, or I'm an orphan. Orphan means one who's without parents, roaming in the street. So she got so much frustrated with this nagging. She got so much irritated with this nagging behavior of her parents, that now she imagines that she is an orphan who is roaming the streets and she's free to do whatever she wants to because there is no one to nag at her. So why is Amanda imagining that she's an orphan because once or because of this imagination there is no one who can nag at her. Okay. Then she says, I pattern soft dust with my hushed bare feet. Bare means exposed feet without slippers or shoes. Hushed means silent feet. The silence is golden and the freedom is sweet. Now, as I've told you that nagging has made her frustrated, irritated. So therefore she says, this silence that I am in right now is golden, and the freedom to do whatever I want to is quite a lot sweet, because she had none of these two words in her life, silence and freedom, because she was restricted in doing each and everything, and she was nagged at repeatedly. The third paragraph. Don't eat the chocolate, Amanda. Remember your acne, Amanda. Acne is a small pimple. You will please look at me when I'm speaking to you, Amanda. So now in the third paragraph, her parents are again nagging at her, and they're saying that don't eat the chocolate, Amanda. Remember you got the acne last time. And now when the parents are talking, Amanda is probably in her own world. She's imagining some better things according to herself. So therefore she's probably looking somewhere else. So therefore her parents says, look at me when I'm talking to you. When I'm speaking to you, I want you to look at me, Amanda. Then she imagines that I'm Rapunzel and I have not a care. Life in a tower is tranquil and rare. I'll certainly never let down my bright hair. Okay. Now Rapunzel was a princess who had extremely long hair and a bright glowing hair. Okay. And because of that, she was locked up in a tower. Where she used to stay all alone. So therefore she says, I wish I was like Rapunzel, who had been locked up in a tower which was tranquil and rare. Okay. And I have not a care, and there was no one to take care of me. Means over here that there was no one to nag at me. She said, I wish I was Rapunzel, because like Rapunzel had no one to take care of her. Similarly, I also want no one to take care of me. Ultimately, I want no one to nag at me. I want no one to correct me. I want no one to restrict me of what I am doing. Okay. And then she says, but if I was Rapunzel, probably I would certainly never let down. I would never let down my bright hair. Okay. Now, in the last paragraph, stop that sulking at once, Amanda. Sulking, I want you to understand the meaning of this word sulking. Sulking means better when you don't speak something, when you don't smile, when you don't show any expressions. Ultimately, if someone is speaking to you, ultimately what you are doing is you are showing your anger. Like if you had a fight with your brothers or your sisters or your cousins, and they come up to you and you talk, and they come up to you and they talk, you don't respond. Okay, you don't respond, you don't speak a word, you don't smile, you don't make any sort of expressions, you don't show any sort of expressions, but ultimately you're trying to show that you are angry. That is the meaning of sulking. To show anger without speaking or without showing any expressions. That is the meaning of sulking. You're always so moody, Amanda. Anyone would think that I nagged at you, Amanda. So now her parents say that stop making that face, Amanda. Stop that sulking. Don't show that you are angry. You're so moody. Your habits are turning worse, and you're becoming moody. And because of that, anyone who would visit our home would think that I have nagged at you. But ultimately, the parents, they want that no one should know that they are every now and then correcting Amanda for what she is doing. Okay. So anyways, we'll stop over here. This was the poem. Go through the video. If any problems, bring them up in the class, and I'll pause the video over here. I'll stop the video over here, and we'll meet in the next video. Till then, stay safe.